Hello everyone, welcome to Rainbow Infinity. Today I'll be reading Thesmokingirl's Life Has No Point, and Neither Earth Ponies. If you like the reading, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Please enjoy. In which Wallflower misses the flowers for the trees. Wallflower could not muster the strength to lift an empty watering can. It was not for a lack of trying. Earlier, she tried her best to drag the heavy fertilizer bag from the cottage. Tried. Despite being an earth pony, she was never good at lifting things. Her feeble legs struggled even with the lighter tools, yet that never stopped her from tending to the playground she called her garden. She went for the trowel. Too far from her, Wallflower could only bring her heavy-feeling hooves to her temples, trying to squeeze magic to pull it closer. But alas, she was no unicorn. Tired from the effort of doing nothing, she sunk her hooves on the damp ground and touched grass. Silence lingered while she gazed at a sky as cloudy as her head. She tried to focus and clear that brain fog. It poured instead. Shower thoughts, she heard ponies call them. Her cottage was a remote speck away from Ponyville, from where her mom would travel back and forth. One day, she taught Wallflower something. Learn to tend the earth, and you will never be hungry or friendless. And in what was once a barren field, seeds and water got splashed upon a carved path in the ground by their combined work. Life bloomed from there, and from it, her cutie mark. 1 year later, they grew into a lovely arrangement, a statement that there was life beyond Ponyville. She was sure if her plants could talk, they would say thank you. That's what her true calling as an earth pony was. She didn't feel like one today. The sunflowers stood tall, falling in line with equally eye-catching flowers of all sizes and colors, sprawled in alphabetical order. A sight contained within the walls of her cottage, only ruined by the withered dandelions planted on soil borrowed from the everfree forest, an idea that sounded good a while back. In front of them, an amaryllis sapling barely stood against the elements. To the other side of the orchard were the carrots, peas, and strawberries that ensured her veggie intake while sparing her from seeing other ponies in the market. Anchored at the bottom, she put painted rocks with little hoof marks and green swirling patterns. They were covered by weeds creeping through the walls, daring her to do something about it. For each task that she left undone, the hole in her chest only dug deeper. Wallflower's sweater soaked through to the skin. She squinted her eyes against the rain. Where should she even start? The longer she stood there looking, the more the weeds seemed to grow. At least there was no pony around to see it, right? Or to compliment her flowers, like, "Your carnations are bright green, like you." Or that it was okay to make mistakes, that gardening took patience. She looked back at her empty shed. Not anymore. Raindrops pelted down her face and matted her mane, trickling down to the grass with a steady drumming inside the copper can. She didn't have to fill it now, or water her plants with it. A Pegasus would have got it done earlier than her, she was sure. Nature was wise like that. Her hoof caressed the wet grass blades that wouldn't see the next autumn. She stared at the gray, cloudy horizon, occluded with trees that would outlive her and any of her plants. Except the 1,000-year rose. That one could surely live, well, 1,000 years, as its name suggested. 6 months and still blooming under her care. That thought swelled her chest with pride. That the whole swallowed. She could keep her plants thriving to see another day. That's what she loved. It was her earth pony talent. So if she couldn't be good at it, what good was she? She feared that as her love became less and less nourishing, they would eventually die on her. But whether Wallflower outlived her plants or her plants outlived her, they all would wither the same way, unseen. In her loneliness, she had no worse enemy than herself. She wept along with the rain. The hours began to slip, with Wallflower drifting along the last drop of a second and washing up onto the next. Raindrops kissed her tears away, and with them, her sorrows. Despite the cold, she was warm, as if the hole in her chest widened into a comforting cloak. The clouds eventually gave way for the sun, which rays refracted off the dewdrops in her eyes. The warmth caressed her cheeks and crisped her coat. She could stay like that forever. To just grow roots and do nothing but photosynthesize, living up to her namesake. At the same time, it gave her a new surge of energy. She saw her flowers bend and move in a dance towards the sun. Part of her wanted to get up and join them. She could keep moving forward, or wait there to decay. Then, sunlight cast the answer before her, an idea that began to form. Inhaling deeply, a word came to mind. Petrichor. Sweet, sweet petrichor that gave her that taste of green through her nostrils. No, not that. The first beads of sweat forming in her forehead. Not yet. The fading orange in the sky. The sunflowers leaning towards the hills. Almost there. The sound of cicadas shepherding the moon. With it, the answer. She got up and walked to the shed, grabbing the bag of fertilizer from before. Dragging the bag towards her spot, she hesitated. Looking at it one last time with a sigh, she poured it all over herself. Wallflower sat down and waited. In the face of nature and life, she was still small, like a blade of grass. But that meant she could still grow like a tree. All she needed was a bit of the patience and care she gave to her plants, for herself. The wind battered the sapling, still crooked but stubborn. Thank you for listening in. I hope you enjoyed the reading. Until next time, stay tuned.